Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Definitely, man, I appreciate each and every one of you, kings and queens, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers. Thank you so much for your support, tuning into the premieres such as this, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. Playback gang definitely shouts out to you. Those who tune into the flash lives, hit the notification bell so when I do these things, the activity here on the channel. I appreciate you all. You guys are all awesome, you know what I mean? If it's your first time listening, Renee Box Young, we just love the sport of boxing. It's simple as that. We don't complicate life. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you, definitely. And I want to get directly to this as I typically do, when it comes to content. But I always got to get time out to shout out in the introduction, definitely to everybody, of all my videos and content. Oscar Valdez, man, wow. I went live the other day just as the whole world did, those who love the sport of boxing and, watch the sport of boxing, whatever. I went live a couple days after or something, and man, I get my 2 cents on it, I try to be, and I just got to make this very clear for everybody, I try to be as unbiased as possible. I guess everybody has a bias to a certain degree or whatever, but I've given so much props, and I said it in the last live session, I have given so much props to Oscar Valdez when a lot of people were doubting him in the lead up to the Burchelt fight, I definitely was going for Valdez, but it was a close fight. Everybody, a lot of people saw it 50-50. I did too, but I had the edge for Valdez, and doing something great. I think I even mentioned that he would knock out Burchelt. Lo and behold, he did. He just did wonderfully, his skill set. I have applauded how, Oscar Valdez has been growing ever since he's been with Eddie Reynoso. Of course, it wasn't an overnight magical thing. We got to understand that, what I'm saying? Ever since he, I've talked about it time and time again concerning the, subject matter when it comes to Oscar Valdez talk, how he got his jaw broken, a few years back when he fought Quigg. And it was just, he's just a warrior, and I've shouted him out so many times and given Oscar Valdez so much props, just to let you know, and I got to get, lay that foundation as I always do in my videos when it comes to me talking about certain fighters. And I want to talk about, in particular, the ramifications of, what all the stuff that happened. Everybody knows what's going on with Oscar Valdez, in the lead up to the Conseco fight. It's just crazy, and I got to make it very clear. And what's crazy about it is that, is this. To a certain degree, I don't blame them, but then to another degree, it's like, people are very ignorant out there, you know what I mean? This is sports, okay? This is sports. It's combat sports, but it's a sport, okay? We got athletes. These guys are athletes. These fighters are athletes. Combat sports fighters are athletes. They dedicate themselves, and we're going to see a little bit about that, sacrifice, which I respect in all fighters, and I've said it so many times. About all fighters, okay? When it comes to me talking about certain fighters out there, I mean, or why do I say certain? Because there are so many fighters, I don't even cover them all. It's too many. But it's a sport, okay? And I understand, why am I saying this? Because I understand they're the man fans. I get it to a certain degree. But then you can't just, just because you're a man fan, because, in general sports, we see it in football, soccer, blah, 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 basketball. You see people who ride or die for their team. You can say to a certain degree that's a bias too. Maybe you can say that's a bias. The fans that follow and ride or die for their teams and defend their teams to the end, they're I guess you can call them man fans too. It's just a part of the sport, It's a part of the sport and the atmosphere of what creates a fan, culture. I guess you can say a community to a certain degree at least. Boxing is no different, because you got people who are hardcore man fans and they take no for an answer when it comes to their favorite fighter, even though as in this case, Oscar Valdez popping dirty for whatever the heck it was, methamphetamine, whatever the heck it's called. Yeah, I really don't care what it's called, but it's really, really bad in my humble opinion. What's going on here? To the degree of how bad it is, how much of a PED, whatever they want to call it. I mean, it's not, legit in my humble opinion. You just can't cut it any other way, okay? And I talked about in the last live session that, this whole thing that's going on, man, the ramifications are going to be I talked about it, shortly after this. I don't remember how long, after he popped dirty, I went on my live session and talked about it, but I did make it very clear in that session that how this is just going to go haywire. It's going to go viral. Everything, everybody that talks to him, the posts that come up, you know what I mean? All the posts on Instagram, whatever you want to call these platforms out there nowadays, whatever they call them, social media. Every time they put a post on this guy now, it's going to be syringes. It's going to be criticizing. It's going to be, oh, you're in the meat camp now, with Canelo and this and that. And this is all because of this whole situation of Oscar Valdez popping dirty. Now, let me get back real quick to the man fan stuff. You just got to be 100 sometimes. Look at yourself in the mirror and just face the facts and be a realist sometimes. You just got to do that. You can't be, you can't live on a cloud all life long and in a bubble and, not let reality smack you in the face. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. Whether you're an Oscar Valdez hardcore fan because he's a Mexican-American, Mexican, whatever, right? I mean, I get it, Viva la raza and stuff like that. I get it. But, man, let's just be realistic here. What's going on, and let's defend what's right. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. And you see it throughout social media ever since this went out. You see a few comments out there with all these posts concerning Oscar Valdez. You still got that little crowd out there saying, oh, Oscar Valdez is going to keep knocking fools out and this and that. I mean, yeah, that's not the point, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're still trying to defend, all these haters out there, they're just hating on Oscar. And it's not hate, okay? I've said this so many times, and I got to clarify this again, as I always do when it comes to this type of topic, subject matter. We're in a fluffy generation. We're in a generation where you can't say anything, even if it's true, even if it's right, I mean, people get offended over a little thing. People get offended over you sneezing. I mean, come on now. Grow the heck up. Grow the heck up and let's be adults here. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go around what's going on here, okay? And the thing here, I've said it also on social media, I've responded to certain posts and stuff like that, concerning this situation with Oscar Valdez, he has to just man up and be held accountable. And what's making it worse, I talked about this in my last live session about this. What's making it worse is what Mauricio Suleiman is accepting here. I mean, that's what's making it worse. It's making it worse than better. It would be one thing for Oscar Valdez, which would be the best thing to do, for him to just to fess up and I don't know, I don't know, whatever, but just to say, what, hey, it is what it is, and I just got to move on my career, and hey, I'm gonna man up to this, and it is what it is. I'll learn from my life and mistakes and blah blah blah. And it's another thing that Mauricio comes on in the picture here and pulls the strings. You already know what I'm talking about. Pulls the strings. These guys got power, man. They know what they're doing. They got connections, man. We're not stupid. I've said it so many times on this platform concerning these kinds of details, and I don't really like talking about it. I don't like talking about the politics and business and all that stuff. But it's a reality, and that's what's going on in the sport of boxing. It's been going on for eons, ever since it's been birthed, the sport of boxing in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. And it is what it is. And it birthed from coming from bare knuckle fighting. And it's been evolving to now. And, it's been around, the corruption and all that kind of stuff. So the thing here is that ever since Mauricio came in the picture and cleaned it up, swept all this dirt under the rug, it just made it worse. And it's making Oscar look a lot worse, man. And that's the problem here. That's what makes it a bigger problem. So, this is, and I've said this, like I don't want to repeat myself so much, but I mean, I made it so clear in my live session. This is all just going to go crazy, man. A lot of people are going to be criticizing him. He's going to get it. He's going to get it, man, because you can't escape. I've said this, in other live sessions when it comes to other topics. Like, we're in a digital media era, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a digital media era, and you just can't escape, man. And I've said it so many times that when you're in the limelight in this generation, ladies and gentlemen, you're a celebrity, athlete, whatever the heck, whatever you are, okay, actor, whatever the heck you are, in whatever atmosphere and arena and professional field, and you're in the limelight, seems like there's no mercy, man. There's just no mercy out there. And every little thing, man, and this is not, I'm not saying that this is a little thing concerning Oscar Valdez, but every little thing that you do and say, man, can and will be held against you in the virtual court of law. I've said it so many times, that slogan that I have created there. And, my last live session concerning this, I said, what, Oscar Valdez is going to get it, man. He's going to get it, and he's going to feel it. And this is why I'm making this video, because it's a ramification of what we're seeing. It's coming out of his own mouth of what he's feeling. Let's get right to it. Michael Benson, check out the link in the description. And this is what he's saying from an interview. Okay, Oscar Valdez, he says here, "I've never been as hurt as this before. Ouch. Being discredited is one of the worst feelings. I just came out of a great victory. The guys loved me back then. The guys loved me back then. And now you're calling me a cheater when you guys don't really know the facts." Now, I mean, I get it. I guess we can say I sympathize or something. Because he's a freaking human being, okay? I mean, come on now. I said this the same about Oscar De La Hoya recently, in that last live session I had also, when I was given that fluff news, at the beginning of the live session, which I usually do in my live sessions, my flash lives. Give a little fluff news of what's going on in the sport of boxing. And, Oscar De La Hoya at that time, who knows the situation right now with Oscar De La Hoya, but, I don't wish on any human being somebody dying from freaking COVID or anything, I mean, so, Oscar's a human being, Oscar Valdez is a human being, and, I guess I sympathize to a certain degree, I can say. Because it sucks, when you do something like this, whether he did it intentionally or not, he's feeling the consequences, man. Life, that's life, ladies and gentlemen. This is life. And that's what happens. You see, that's what I love about sport of boxing. You learn so much things. You learn so many things. You learn from fighters, from their, from their mess ups, their screw ups, and from their victories and successes. And we apply it in our lives. That's life, man. Whether he did it intentionally or not, I mean, these are the ramifications, and he's going through it. He's feeling it, ladies and gentlemen. And he continues to say, I just came out of a great victory, and definitely, man, I applauded him. We all applauded him for that, and I've been applauding him for a minute, before that. He says the guys loved me back then, and now you're calling me a cheater. Now we you can't play the victim here. That's like my perspective I want to get out here on this video too. That Oscar Valdez can't really just play the victim. I mean, you can't blame. Okay, that's this thing. Oscar also has to learn. Just as we all have to learn, right? I mean, you can't blame the world on saying that about him. I mean, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. He popped it, and, no athlete should be popping this kind of stuff. And I want to show you something else, okay? Now, if I'm not mistaken, that tweet, whatever, that Michael Benson posted there, I want to show you this article, okay? Let's get right back to it, and I'm going to leave it in the description, okay? Link in the description. Let me go ahead and align that for you. Interview he had, and I want to go to certain things here, okay? He says, "I'm not a cheater, never have been, never needed it. Oscar Valdez tells all." So I want to get into this, okay? And let's check this out, man, because there are certain things that he said, that Valdez has said, that I want to point out here. So he says he's not a cheater, never have been, never needed it. You can check out the context of the whole interview here, and then, introduction and blah, blah, blah. Link in the description, okay? He says, "There's no easy way out for me. This is just hard work in the gym, hours and hours of training, lots of sacrifice. That's it. You come here, you train, you win fights in the gym. You go to a fight, you give it your best. That's the way I am. And there's a lot of people saying, here we go, you're a cheater, you're using steroids, you came back positive. It's heartbreaking for me." You see that? I mean, that's the thing there, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get back to that, okay? And certain things and points I want to show you guys in that interview. You just can't play the victim. You gotta man up to it, and these consequences and ramifications that he's receiving, And like I said, I sympathize with him, man. I sympathize with him. I sympathize with all these other guys, But I don't know, man. It's a complex situation. It's very controversial, So let's just continue. And I get it, man. I get it, him saying that, he sacrificed and stuff like that. But that's the problem here, ladies and gentlemen. When you pop like this, when you pop with that, whatever drug it's called, it just messes your whole reputation up, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way around it. That's what sucks about all this in his situation. And you can't blame people calling him that kind of stuff. What do you expect? What do you expect, ladies and gentlemen? If I'm a kid in a candy store, and I see a jar of bubble gum, which is at the cashier, and the cashier guy, he turns his back, and I stick my hand in there and pop the gum in my mouth, and you got a camera, rolling, videotape, and he sees that gum in your mouth, and he say, "What are you eating there? What's going on?" "Oh, nothing," and you're sitting there chewing in front of his face, and then he goes back and sees the footage and say, "Hey, you took some gum, you didn't pay for it." I mean, What do you expect the guy to call you? The cashier guy, you're stealing from my store, man. Come on. I mean, you see what I'm saying here? So you can't blame, fight fans out there who are calling him this. It's a controversial situation, but you just got to man up to this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's a trip about it. Everybody knows the story, but it's like he just keeps negating it. He just keeps negating. Everybody saw the clip, and he continues saying it in this interview also. Everybody saw the clip that he posted in Spanish and in English, right? And I mean, I'm not judging the guy, man, okay? I'm not judging Oscar Valdez, and this is not a hate video. If you think that's it, you can go somewhere else, please. I've said it time and time again, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody thinks that I do that kind of silly stuff, you can go somewhere else, okay? You don't have the maturity to contemplate what this platform's about and understand what I do, okay? But at this point, when you're listening far into this video, at this point, you already know. You rock with me, so, I don't got to say it to you. I'm not directing it to you. I'm directing it to new listeners if they might be thinking stuff, okay? Okay, it says here, so, I mean, he's repeating himself. What I can say is that I'm 100%. So this is what the reporter, whoever it was, right? You link in the description, like I said, you check it out, okay? How did it, if I'm saying Mark Kriegel or something, okay, how did it happen? That's what he asked him. And then, Oscar responds, what I can say is that I'm a 100% clean fighter. I don't know how that got into my body. I know every fighter is responsible for whatever they consume, but on behalf of myself, so he's like making exceptions for himself, okay? So I have no clear answer on how that got into my body, so I don't know, and I know every fighter is responsible for what they take into their body, but at the same time, I'm the exception here. And I don't know, and it's funny because it's a trip because I've said this before this whole interview came out. In the live session, like I said, in my live session that we just had, the Flash Live, I'll leave it at the end of this video so you can check it out. I said, if he comes out saying I don't know how that got in my body, no, we're not gonna buy it, and I didn't even know he was gonna say that. Sure enough, a couple days after, whenever the heck this interview went out, you can check the timestamp of that live session. I'm sure it was before this interview. He comes out saying, I don't know how it came into my body. And he says, fighters are responsible for everything that goes into their body, but at the same time, I'm not. I just don't know. That it's just kind of hard for me to buy this kind of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard for me to buy this, man. Now, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more, okay? I'm just going to, just want you to follow along here, okay? So let's just scroll down a little bit more in this whole interview. I mean, they say a lot of things here in this questions. The questions here from the, reporter guy, shouts out to him, good questions that he had. He talks about VADA, the WBC and stuff like that. Okay, so I just want to go down here and just scroll just a tad. And this is another ramification, okay? This is another ramification that I want you to check out, okay? Now, right here, the reporter saying, the reporter said some nice things here. I like what he said. I like the certain things that he has said and he has questioned here, what I'm saying, concerning Valdez. We go down here and he says, but the rest of the gym, the rest of the world thinks the gym is bad, And you see, when you screw up like this, man, it's not just you who takes the blame. It's the people around you. It's the people who, you know what I'm saying? And now, what are we hearing, ladies and gentlemen? Canelo's looking worse now, even though he has nothing to do with this, man. Because what's going on now? Everybody knows it. I'm not necessarily one of those guys that are saying it either. I'm not saying it. I mean, hey, it's Oscar. This is his thing. He's dealing with the consequences of his own actions. But it's like a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? You throw a rock in the lake, there's going to be a ripple from the source of where the rock hit in the water and landed. It splashes, and there are many ripples. Canelo's getting that ripple effect, man, and he has nothing to do with it, apparently. Okay, I mean, he didn't do anything of this. We know the Climbertos thing, whatever, but now this is all making Canelo look worse. And look what, I mean, for crying out loud, Plant, he was going off on Twitter the other day. So many freaking tweets he posted about Plant, about Canelo. What the whole thing was Oscar. Oh, Canelo, you freaking cheat, you suck, and this and that. I don't know what he said, but I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to kick your butt now because you cheat and this and that. And Oh, this is gonna be a bad blood fight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll probably make another video and lead up to the Plant versus Canelo fight. But man, ladies and gentlemen, Plant is one small example of what a lot of people out there are saying now. Now they're shifting their eyeballs to Canelo. Now they're shifting their eyeballs to Ryan Garcia, and it's like, well, look at him, look at Ryan Garcia, look how buff he is, or whatever, cut up he is, however term you want to use it. Look how muscular he looks, and in a short period of time, ever since he went to Reynoso, and look at Canelo. We know the story with Canelo. It's like, man, wow, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Oscar feels that he's in the dumps right now, man. I mean, it sucks, and like I said, to a certain degree, and I know, ladies and gentlemen, there are people out there who are gonna be like, I'm not gonna sympathize with this cheating, this and that. Hey, I don't blame you, man. I'm just speaking for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking for me. I'm sure Oscar right now is in the freaking dumps. He feels like this and and I don't know how he's gonna make up for this, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I think the best thing, and I've said it time and time again, man. Who am I to? I'm just a freaking, boxing fan, whatever. But I speak my mind, I think Oscar Valdez, ever since, Mauricio said, no, we're going to let the fight go on, he probably should have talked to Mauricio and said, hey, I'm going to pull out this fight, man. I'm going to do what's right. But just like I said, what makes it worse is Mauricio coming out and saying, he's on a little probation thing. If he pops dirty again in the next year, he's cool. I got to worry about nothing. Let the fight go on. Wow. I mean, that's what is making it all worse too. And the root of all this is Oscar Valdez. And it's just, I sympathize with the guy, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, how is he gonna make up for it? Just I don't know. I don't know. And I just want to make this video to show you how, the ramifications and the consequences, man. He's gonna have to deal with it. He's gonna really have to deal with all this, man. And like I said, link in the description of this interview. You know what I'm saying? Of this interview, and I like what the reporter said, man. Like right here, I'm gonna show you right here one more thing. I'm gonna show you one more thing what the reporter said here in this interview. He says, I want to believe you. Do I believe you're a cheater in my heart? No, but the rules are broken. That's facts. And I don't know how to reconcile those two things. And then you see that this is the thing about Oscar. I don't think I'll ever 100% convince everybody that I'm not a cheater and that I didn't cheat the sport, and he just continues saying, I just, in other words, I didn't, under the herbal tea stuff, I don't, it just seems like he keeps repeating, I'm a clean fighter, I'm not a cheater, and, you know what I mean? And then he says here, look, it was a clear mistake. That's good right there, what he's saying, Now, if you don't believe after these results, then I don't know. You see, like I said a moment ago, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to, clean his image up, man. I truly 100% do not know where this comes from. Yeah, that, or I think he's talking about that drug or whatever. So, I don't know, man, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a bad look. This is just a bad look all around. And it makes it even worse that, the fight's A-okay under Mauricio's eyes. I don't know what's going to be of the WBC, man. If they keep doing this kind of stuff, I mean, come on now, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why the boxing community out there is fed up. They're fed up, man. The boxing community is fed up. And I have given shouts out to WBA. They're cleaning up all those silly belts. They're reducing big time those belts. And that's nice. That's nice. I understand the whole judge thing. I mean, they should get rid of that Gloria person, whoever, that, racist person. But, I know. All these sanctioning bodies got dirt one way or another. So, I mean, it got to be cleaned up, ladies and gentlemen. And there are more, it seems like there are some organizations out there that are a little bit more, or a lot bit more blatant when it comes to the sport of boxing. I think WBC is one of them. But hey, man, I just, like I said, man, I understand if your viewpoint is, Oscar, you freaking cheater, you suck. And, I'm not going to go against that. I mean, like I said, I just, I don't know. I'm not going to blame people who are criticizing him. And, everybody has their opinion, man. I just, it's going to be hard for him to really clean this up because a lot of people out there, they don't forget. Just look at Canelo, for crying out loud. For example, I mean, if Big Baby Miller were to come back, he tested freaking positive on a lot of drugs. I don't know how many it was, Pascal, and, the list goes on and on with all these guys who have, pop dirty. Oh, just the list goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever race they are, I don't know. But, whatever race these fighters are, a lot of them have pop dirty. You know what I'm saying? But what am I saying? If Big Baby Miller were to come back and he starts being clean and, it's cool, man. I would watch his fights and I would be cool about it. It's like, hey, all right, Big Baby Miller, shaping up. That's good, man. That's good. And from what I understand, all these other fighters, a lot of these fighters, at least who pop dirty, they got suspended or something happened. But, that's what just makes this whole thing more controversial. It's like, nothing happened. Don't worry. Let's move on. The fight's good. Go ahead and fight, Oscar. It's like, what? I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know, man. I just hope, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. Only time will tell, right? Comment in the comment section, please, man. You already know, man. Renee Box Young. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you. Hit the notification bell so you know when I do my premieres, man. Just such as this, when I do my flash lives. And one more thing. And this is why, okay, a lot of people right now are applauding and hoorahing what Tim Bradley said recently. Oh, I hope he gets knocked out when he fights Conseco. And I get it, because Timothy Bradley, he's speaking from a fighter's heart, and he wants things done right, just as a lot of us want it. A lot of us, maybe not everybody, not the biased guys out there who defend their fighters to the T and to everything, even if they do something really wrong or whatever. But I understand Timothy Bradley's viewpoint, and that's another point I want to do this, point out in this video before I leave. Timothy Bradley saying that, he wants Oscar Valdez to be knocked out, against Conseco. I get where he's coming from. And a lot of people hoorah on him right now. Timothy Bradley, what he said. But I've been hoorah on Timothy Bradley on certain things he has said way before this. I got videos in my channel to prove it. You know what I'm saying? I understand Timothy Bradley and, a lot of people out there who are legitimate sources, ladies and gentlemen. Not just boxing fans. You got fighters out there. You got, journalists and new media, old media, whatever the heck they want to call them, that are speaking out against it. And I think it's right, man. I think it's right that people speak out against it, you know what I'm saying? Because we need this sport cleaned up. So, what Timothy Bradley said, I understand that too. And like I'm saying earlier, I understand if you're campaigning against Oscar Valdez, but I understand it, but I think every fighter deserves a second chance, right? But I don't know, man. We'll see. Time will tell, man. So once again, Playback family, also comment in the comment section of the video. I appreciate each and every one of you, man. And if you're a new listener, go ahead and subscribe. Costs you nothing. Renee Box Young, stay safe. Peace out, fan.